I'm Ashton from EventChain for Investment Pitch Media and FinTech News Network. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have John McAfee, serial entrepreneur, presidential candidate for 2020, and founder of the McAfeeDEX Decentralized Exchange. John, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me. I'm very happy to be on.
You're very welcome. Let's kick it off by learning a little bit more about the McAfee Decentralized Exchange. It launched in October. Users hold their own funds. No trust is needed to use the platform. As a security expert, would you advise people from staying away from centralized cryptocurrency exchanges and stick to decentralized exchanges? And how does that affect their privacy?
Well, obviously, with a centralized exchange, your privacy is exposed because you have to divulge information to you. And that information, depending on the level of its concern to you, is what you're risking. And we all know that, especially in financial affairs, governments want to know who, what, when, where, and why about any transaction. So that is your risk there. And if you're happy with that risk, then, well, that's fine with me. But for those of you who are not, then distributed exchanges are the only way to go. Number one, we keep no information. Nobody controls it. It can never be shut down, ever. It's on the blockchain. Our logic is on the blockchain. McAfeeDEX is just a portal. And we have other portals. We have over 30 now. But if they shut McAfeeDEX down, it still won't change anything. No sources of it.
Yeah. So, but currently, cryptocurrency exchanges that are centralized make up the majority of the volume. I think it's 20% maybe maximum of volumes on decentralized exchanges. 20% are decentralized, but only 1% is for the volume. It really hasn't kicked up. What do you think has to happen for this paradigm shift to move towards that?
Well, what has to happen is what we are in fact doing and will be doing by the second quarter of next year. Keep in mind, the McAfeeDEX is a beta version. And we're fleshing it out as we go. We have the reason that the centralized exchanges, decentralized, are not going is because you cross-chain transactions. How do you convert your Ethereum coins to Bitcoin, or your Bitcoins to Monero, or your Monero to Zcash? This is the problem. And that, of course, is why we're still in beta, because we know the solution and we are working on the solution, and it will not be done until the end of the first quarter, perhaps early second quarter of next year. Then the decentralized exchanges will have exactly the same functionality as centralized exchanges, without the having to log on and give your information and be at the mercy of them going, no, we're freezing your account because of possibly illegal activity. No, none of that. You're in control.
Yeah, so I guess one of the major inhibitors right now is the Ethereum protocol, which of course is not fully anonymous, can be governed or can be seen by governments, is where all of the decentralized exchanges are. And to top that off, you can really only trade between Ethereum tokens. On the decentralized one, you can't really go to Bitcoin and Monero and these other coins right now.
Yeah, the reason we started with Ethereum is not because that's where we're going to be. No, our logic is going on every blockchain. We've already added it to Tron. That came out a week and a half ago. Before the end of the year, we're adding it to Binance, EOS, and Neo. And we will have them all. So no, we're not counting on the Ethereum. It's just that if it is Ethereum that you're using, we cannot, I'm afraid, fix the problems in the fundamental architectures of the coins you use. Okay, that's not my job, nor is it possible. However, we'll have it on every chain, and the chains that you do trust, stay in that chain.
Definitely. And from a privacy perspective, I know you recently were on the Monero Talk show talking about Monero and other privacy coins and how they can have the power to keep your privacy and not have other bodies look into the transactions. Do you believe that governments will start banning these coins, and do you plan on creating one yourself or integrating that fully into a decentralized exchange?
Of course they're going to ban the coins, people. I mean, the privacy coins coupled with things like decentralized exchanges, remove you from any control and even surveillance from anybody anywhere. That scares governments. They're not going to let this live. However, do you care? Because there's a thing called civil disobedience, which many of you have practiced many times in your life, like in America, smoking marijuana. Been illegal for 75 years, and sometimes the repercussions were prison for 10 years for just having a joint in some states. People practice what is called civil disobedience. It's a stupid effing law, and I'm not obeying it. And when they ban privacy coins, which you know protect you from their corruption, and they ban you from protecting yourself from their corruption, you're going to say the same thing. It's a stupid law. I'm not obeying it. And the beauty of it is, if you're smoking weed, your neighbor can smell it. A dog can come in and sniff for it and find out where you have stashed it on your mattress. But no, with privacy coins, there's nothing to sniff, nothing to see, nothing happening here, folks. In every household in the world, and you tell me how you're going to enforce that stupid law.
Totally, and there's not much you can do. I know, even with, I've seen seizures of, blacklisted coins before. I've seen seizures of blacklisted coins like Monero, and the bodies can't even tell how many coins there are. No problem, John. So sort of the same with what they say with Bitcoin and Ethereum is you can't really you could ban it, but you can't unless you turn off the internet. How can you prove that somebody's not using the coins since nobody can detect it, right?
Yeah. So you spoke the magic word there. Unless you turn off the internet. Now, listen to this beautiful thing. You know what détente is? It's where two parties are. We just can't move, but we certainly can't. We can't make the other one do anything. Well, like in America and Russia for 25 years. Well, we're approaching rapidly a détente between our governments and the people who serve the government rather than vice versa. Well, we need governments to serve us, not to be servants too. So now, we have the advantage on our side. The technology sprang from us. It didn't come from a government agency, a large corporation. No, it came from ordinary people, and we know who they are. Less than a dozen bright, geeky, but excited technologists gave us the schematics for an entire industry which has blossomed from that. Much of that industry being dead wood we need to cut off. However, within that is some beautiful things. And so, we are a threat. However, the only thing, if we're using privacy coins, think about this, distributed exchanges where nothing can be tracked and no frame record is kept of anything except the transaction itself. Who did it? Who knows? So with that, their only recourse is to shut the internet down since it is distributed throughout the internet and cannot be ferreted out by some magic antibiotic-like weapon that just eradicates it. Not happening. So we're in détente, or we'll be very soon. Keep in mind, we have the power. The people, we create capital, and capital is no longer automobiles and buildings, although yes, that is capital. But the important capital is not our material produce. It is our produce and processing of information, knowledge, data about the about. This, people, is what we produce. And it's we who are clearly producing it. I mean, we're not desperate to go into Facebook's CEO's office and say, here, I want all the data in this company. They want the data about us. We are, people, the product. We have become the end product of a nightmarish perversion of democracy and industry.
Mm-hmm.
But we have the power to change it now. And I beg you out there listening, please consider this at the least. And if you do see something amiss, are you now going to sit comfortably on your sofa and continue your life of sameness? Or are you actually going to think about your children, grandchildren, and the world you're leaving behind and stand up and do something?
Mm-hmm.
And thank you very much for having me on. We're out of time, my friend.
No, we have one more or two more questions here, and I'm sort of curious
Oh,
about
okay. All right.
I'm sort of curious
All right.
about your stance on stablecoins as an interim solution to avoid going
Which
back
one?
to stablecoins. To go
Absolutely. I'd love to.
Yeah,
Okay.
to avoid going back to fiat currency as an interim solution.
Yeah.
However,
Yes.
some of the coins, are backed by, well, some of them seem to be backed by thin air, but other ones are trying to be backed by commodities that are still based off of the fiat economy. And, if so, what do you think that you need to have the proper backing in a stable coin that's not tied to the traditional economy, or how can that properly work?
Of course we do. We have to have these stable coins, and we have some fine ones. I'm fond of DAI. I think they just renamed it, God knows why, to SAI. It never varies more than 1% from the US dollar up or down, no matter what the volume is or the pressure on the buy or sell side. Now, that's magic. How? The blockchain, people, it does magical things. So we have to have them. Otherwise, we are always tied to, oh my God, the market's in flux. What do we do? We might get wiped out tomorrow. And what do we get into? Is Bitcoin going to survive? Maybe Ethereum, maybe not. No, screw that. Drop it in a stable coin, go back to work or go back to sleep. All the same thing. Of course, we have to have them. I don't know much about them other than I use DAI, and I'm not getting paid to say this, religiously. Why? Because it does not ever vary. And the cost of exchange is virtually nil, and it's instantaneous. Why not?
Well, a lot of centralized bodies are looking at creating their own stablecoins, and not just companies like Facebook's kind of stablecoin, but government stablecoins. And I guess they have the ability to create those and put them on the market, but unless people adopt them, then it doesn't really have any value unless something is actually used by people, right?
Oh, absolutely. Here's the thing. I promise you that every governmental crypto dollar, there's a crypto yen already coming out, folks. When the crypto dollar comes and the crypto pound, the crypto euro, they're centralized, people. And what they are is the blockchain concept of cryptocurrency weaponized into a powerful microscope that will see and record and even begin to anticipate your every penny that you make or spend. This is where that's headed, which is why I'm saying you don't have to use it. I mean, they will ban privacy coins just before, or maybe just after, releasing their own crypto dollar. Civil disobedience, and you don't have to use it unless somebody comes by with a gun every morning saying, you come downtown and use a crypto dollar, else you're going to jail. Well, it's not going to happen. Not even in the wildest science fiction, so nothing to worry about other than your own conscience. And if this goes against your conscience, please back away now, because this is a rough road ahead of us. And none of us are going to get out without a scratch, but it will be the most beautiful experience if we fulfill this and carry this off, people, as a people, to take control of our own money, and the Fed can no longer increase the supply, therefore diminishing all of your hard-earned money, savings. They can't do anything. You can't be monitored. A world of exchange, because that's what this is. Screw the word finance. Screw the word money. We're talking about a world where human beings can exchange freely. I mean, totally freely, which has been the inhibitor of civilization since the beginning of time, when you had 5 chickens and you're sick of chicken soup and want half a pig. And you carry your 5 chickens to the market, may take you half an hour. And then you got to find somebody with a pig. And you got to hope that he wants chickens. Do you understand the inhibiting effect of commerce? It's not finance we should be concerned about. It is commerce, people. Screw finance.
Yeah.
Commerce is what lifts society from the bootstraps into the heavens, and we have the opportunity to do that now under our control without the meddling influence of people who do not have the true authority given by the people to meddle in this progress of mankind into a new paradigm.
Awesome. Well, that's great, John. We're running out of time, but I know a lot of people are interested in learning more about McAfeeDEX. I'm sure they could probably follow your Twitter for your new campaign video that came out today. I saw that. And I'll put the links to that stuff in the description box below. And thanks so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And let's follow up in the near future.
Thank you, Ashton. And please, if you would send a link when this goes live,
yes,
anywhere that you know of. We're keeping track of all the bad and good things people say. And it's overwhelmingly bad always. And that gives me hope that I'm doing the right thing. But if you'd send the link, I'd appreciate it.
Great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.